Welcome to the WrestleFam Talk Show. I'm Ron. I'm here alone today. I know we're called the Wrestling Fam Talk Show, but I'm interested in many different things. The family's sleeping right now, and I decided to get on here and record about football. It's an idea I've had for many years. It's a question I've kind of had about the divisions in the NFL. Hopefully, some of you have thought the same idea. You have the divisions in the NFL, and to win a division, you have to have the better record than the other opponents, teams in your same division. However, in the NFL, you only play 6 games against your division. And now, this year, they have a 17th game. So you're literally playing 11 games out of your division and only 6 in your division to win your division. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I've wrote down a few ideas where you would actually play a majority of your games within your division because that's what would make winning your division mean something. Because literally you could go 0-6 against your division and 11-0 against everybody else and have a good chance of winning your division. Doesn't make any sense to me. I took a look at how they do the NFL schedule. So they do 6 games against divisional opponents, 2 games per team, 1 at home and 1 away. There's 4 games against teams from a division within their conference, 2 at home and 2 away. 4 games against teams from a division in the other conference, 2 at home and 2 away. Then there's 2 games against teams from the 2 remaining divisions in its own conference. The matchups are based on the division ranking from the previous season. So if, let's say, Dallas won the East and Green Bay won the North, those 2 could possibly be on the schedule against each other. And now with the 17th game, it's a non-conference opponent. So with the 17th game this year, some teams are going to have 9 home games and 8 away games and vice versa. So here's some ideas where I kind of been thinking about for many years, and now I'm decided just to talk about it, of how they could maybe improve the divisions, the schedule, maybe an idea of branching out to various locations like they do for London. So here's idea number 1. 17 games. I'm not going to change much on this. We'll keep the divisions, let's say, at the 6 games. This one's the easiest one that I could see them doing. 4 games against the conference division and 4 games against a non-conference division. Pretty much the same thing you do. But on their 17th game, no matter where it is in the schedule, it would be against a rival. So their 17th game here is a non-conference opponent that isn't already on the schedule. I'm thinking, have a rival. It could be non-conference or in conference. So for instance, have Dallas play Pittsburgh every year. That was a great rivalry. They've been in the Super Bowl against each other, I believe, 3 times. As your non-conference rival. You could have a backup in case that year the NFC East, where Dallas resides, is going to play the AFC North, and Pittsburgh would be on their schedule anyways. You could have a backup rival that if that happens, that's who they're playing that year. If you do conference rivals, wouldn't you like to see Dallas play the 49ers every year? And their backup could maybe be Green Bay. I'm just using Dallas as an example, but you could think of many other rivalries. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, Dallas and Houston, locational type rivalries, Baltimore and Washington, things of that nature. Have that 17th game be a rivalry game. I think people would be interested in that. I know I would want to see those matchups every year. My other idea number 2, 17 games, 9 games within your division. This is the idea I was talking about where we have more games against their division rivals. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, how are you doing 3 games versus 1 team when one team's going to have 2 home games? Right now, it's already a lopsided schedule anyways. Have 3 games versus your division of each team, and then you would swap each year's where, let's say, Dallas and Washington were playing. This year, Dallas would have 2 home games and Washington would have 1. Next year, Washington would then have 2 home games, and Dallas would have 1. Not a big deal to me. You're being fair by swapping each years. And then you would have your 4 against the conference division and 4 against non-conference division. That one is the one I want to see. That way, it's 9 games within your division and then 8 outside your division. Idea number 3, use the 17th game as a neutral site game at a location that doesn't get the NFL. Kind of like what Jacksonville does in London. And some teams go over there. Keep that London game. Have that the 17th game. Could be against anybody like they're doing now, or it could be that rivalry game. That way nobody has an advantage in the rivalry game. But another idea I had, there's a lot of NFL fans that will never go to an NFL game because, 1, they can't afford it, and 2, it's never close to them. I'm sure there's a lot of fans in Wyoming that like Denver. There's a lot of fans in Alabama that like the Falcons. Wouldn't it be great to schedule a home game for that team? Not necessarily a home game, but in that area, if you will, a neutral site game, bringing it to a state that doesn't have an NFL team, but is a huge loyal fan to them. New Mexico, there's smack down in the middle of the Cardinals and the Texas teams. Wouldn't they like to see a game that they could actually go to that's not far away? They don't have to travel that far. That way you can expand your love of the game to everybody in the United States. And of course, you have your Mexico games. You can have it up in Canada. But a neutral site game is what I would think. So let me hear your thoughts about it. And just a quick little video. Those are a few of my ideas. If you have a favorite team out there, let me know what rivalry game you would like to see your team play each year that isn't a traditional rivalry. You know, someone outside their division that they're not going to play every year that you like to see them play each year. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.